Hello, this is Ryan from Let's Roleplay. Welcome to channel news for April 7th, 2024, the day before the eclipse. We won't be seeing much of it up here in Canada, Western Canada. But yeah, for half my viewers who are Americans, you'll be seeing a lot more of it than we will. Alright, so I am no longer sick. It is, what is it? It is Sunday. And I think I stopped being sick Saturday of last week. That's why I put out like 6 videos in the last week. So yeah, that was brutal. I get sick probably once a month in the last couple, 2-3 days. I'm just really fatigued. This one got worse over the period of a week. I think it was some kind of fatigue like flu. I don't know. All I wanted to do was, I couldn't think at all. All I wanted to do was just sit and barely move. It was terrible. I did really try to fight it at the end. Thursday, Friday, when I was still sick, I was fighting all that massive brain fog that you have coming out of being really sick and trying to work on Fallout. I don't think I recorded it till the Saturday when I actually did the first recording, when I actually felt that I could think properly. But I was getting everything set up around. When I'm starting a new Let's Roleplay, it's quite a lot of work, so I have to come up, with the character story, the background, what he looks like, pictures, everything else that I'm adding to it. So, like in this case, I used a lot of AI speech. That's what my new Fallout videos will really be. That's the special part that's included with them. That I really don't like voicing all the NPCs. I'll get to that in a minute, but but it turns out it's a lot of work to do the AI voices. So. Yeah, so let's see what's on the agenda for today. My list. The script. I probably suddenly got a lot brighter because it's all this white for the Word program I have. So yeah, 2 weeks I was sick, and I know it delayed everything. That's terrible. Sorry about that. But, I did what I could. And usually I get sick and it's just a few days, like I said, and it doesn't affect anything. I may be late. Or something is delayed for a few days during the week, but yeah, I had to put everything off. There's just no way I couldn't have done anything. My brain power was like down to nothing. So yes, I'm using AI in my videos more and more. I'm using it for pictures shown of characters and places, and now I'm also using it for NPC speech in Fallout, though, like I said, it is quite tedious. So, I think I have to switch cameras, so I have to pause this. So as you can see here, this is what's called Playground, and it's an AI picture generator. Where's even the name? Well, playground.com. That's it, simple. And this is, I'm using it for free. I'm not paying to use it, though you can. So I generated, what's his name? Milton, completely from here. That's completely generated AI picture. This was taken of the Overseer and tried to make it look like a real person. I don't know why I added glasses to it, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. The head needs to be a little widened, but I'm not going to argue. If you look at the wide face of the Overseer in the Fallout game, it's unrealistically wide. And see, what I also like this was, what did it say? I think this is like 115 or something, or it wasn't 111 or 109. I forget the number of the vault. So I'm even able to use this, take an existing picture and erase what's on there, and it will fill in the background because it had big, like, just say vault 109. It was big, but it filled it in. And then I can use, say, my art program. So I use Affinity Photo, and then I can take that same picture. I'd have to go find it, but I can take that same picture from Fallout. Oh, these are videos. See, I can take the same picture from Fallout and write in whatever I want. So it's a blank picture that I brought up. See right here. So here's Vault 15. This is me writing in 15. I even tried to make the 15 look a little faded. And, you saw the other picture with it off. Otherwise, I'd have this big 109 and there's no way for me to edit it. With things like Playground, I can take existing pictures and edit it. I can take cartoonish pictures like the Overseer from the game and get it to generate a realistic looking face. Now this one, it explained, this is what, the prompts I used. I have to go back here. Click on this. Click on this. So I put thin, nerdy white male with glasses, age 22, wearing a blue vault suit, holding a thick book on advanced physics. The background is black, and I filled it in with the pipes. This is AI generated as well, completely from scratch. I just had to explain. What did I write? Thick, dark, gray metal pipes running horizontally. Have to look here. Horizontally along the upper half of a light gray wall, and then the AI would just generate it. So, and that's where I got him from. But the vault suit was a problem. And originally, my original Milton did not have... He had a light blue, kind of like a jumper. I mean, this is a blue vault jumpsuit is what it is. But it has to match, see? And to get that, I'm not an expert at Playground. I'm sure that the people who created it would know better. But it was a little bit of an issue to get it. And then when he did come, he had these patches on top. But you know what? There's so many vault suits. If you look at all the pictures of the vault suits throughout all the Fallout games, a lot of them they're modified. Not all of them. A lot of them have collars too. And this is how the original Overseer looked with his vault suit. So see, collars, if you look at all the pictures, it's not uncommon to have these collars. So with Milton editing or augmenting or changing his vault suit is not out of the norm. Yeah, so that's not a real person, despite how real that looks. It's not a real person. I had to fix his eye, though. His eye was really off. You can kind of see it if I zoom in close, because he's got two different color eyes. Light blue and then the brown, which that's not how human beings have eyes. So yeah, this is a picture. I took an existing picture on Pinterest, and what did I put? Yeah, a young white girl, age 16, with red hair, wearing the blue vault suit. It took an existing picture of a girl in the vault suit and then changed it to look like this. So these are completely unique pictures. You will not maybe ever see these ever, really, again. Especially, yeah, I guess maybe if you use the same... But see, I used a picture to base this on to get the vault suit. So you'd have to have that same picture and the same prompt and using Playground to do it. And for all I know, Playground will change over time. So if you use the same prompt a couple years from now, it won't be the same. Here's pictures that I have. Like this looks like, these look like real boys. Elvish ears. That's Siren. This was created completely by Playground. Looks real. This was Ajantis. That's Siren's grandfather from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, my games, my Let's Roleplay. And it took the cartoonish picture of him, and I want it to look realistic, and this is what it drew for me, and it's pretty good, I think. Now, this is weird, just things like simple things like a farm with a plowed field. I would not be able to tell this from, like, I put medieval farm with a plowed field. I wouldn't be able to tell this from being fake, right? To me, it looks real. This looks real. There's some people say, I can tell it's AI. Well, I can't. I can't. I didn't even know what a medieval farmhouse looked like, and this is what it came up with. So I use things like this. Sorry, I forgot to use the right space, then move it. Use things like this, and that's his grandmother, Orin. That's based on the picture that I gave to it of her. This was a completely made-up picture. I went for the nymph. Not nymph. Dryad. Forest dryad. Yeah, I had to... Some of these pictures, like, you have to watch. The AI does some funky things. There was some things here I had to get rid of. I forget what it was now. But just because it makes a picture doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. There's another AI-generated picture. So I made... You can make, like, 4 or 8, up to 8 in a row of these at once to do randomized versions of the prompt that you asked it to do. And in some cases, like, people have 3 hands or 4 fingers or 6 fingers, or you just got to watch out for that. And you can edit it, right? Once it's created, you can edit it or add in things. So this is delete. So now it's loading for the different segments that you can delete, or you can delete by just, I'll show you. It's taking its time. There. Okay, now I can delete this guy if I want, right? You go erase. I can undo it. Go erase, and wham, he's gone. Except it doesn't always work perfect, because now there's like a dark shadow here, like, and then you can go with like this one, and you can add in, you can write what you want to add in, see, down here, and it'll add in based upon the AI Let's put that guy back. So it's not actually easy to get pictures of medieval sailing ships unless you want to pay for stuff like that. And some of the pictures, if you go to these stock photo places, ridiculous. Like $66 American for one picture. It's nuts. And there's no way I would ever pay anything like that. I don't even think if I was a millionaire, unless it was something extremely important, crucial to my work. There's no way I'd be just throwing money like that out. It's a total waste of money to do that. Then this is using it free. I did not have to pay for any of this. These are my saved pictures. I don't know if there's a limit to how many pictures I have. This is Fallout. This is Baldur's Gate 3. And I can just keep on making it. So you can take an existing picture, cartoony, real, doesn't matter, and you can give it the AI prompts, and it will create its own version of it. That's what this is. That's Orin of Candlekeep. This is Ajantis. So I just find this really fascinating. Alright, so let's go to 11 Labs. Where are we? 11 Labs. Looking for you. 11 Labs. It's supposed to be right around here. I cannot find it. Here it is. Alright, so here I have the different voices, and I can get it to say whatever I want. So, go to speech. This is where you type in what you want. They're to the southeast. Please, hurry. I don't know what they'll do to her. So this is from the end of Fallout. It's probably the last voice that I did for Fallout. So I can get it to play here.
Thank Dharma you're here, Wanderer. My girl, Tandi, Aradish's daughter, has been kidnapped. We believe the raiders have her.
See? Things like that. So yeah, so I type in what I want, and then it repeats it in its new voice, and then you decide if you want it like that. You can do some editing to it, or whatever, you know, put some spaces, ... between, to spread it out between the phrases. Sometimes it sounds perfectly human, sometimes it talks really funny, it doesn't stop, like there's no stops in between the different sentences, and it doesn't sound right. So in the cases like that, I will, of course, try to space it out. Let's see. So what else did I write? I wrote this to someone on my channel just before this. So this is exactly how I feel about all these games, especially after doing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Neverwinter Nights, because there is a lot of NPC voices that don't have their own voices, it's just text. So I like voicing my own characters, but I don't like voicing all the NPCs in older RPGs. That's why I added AI speech to this one, meaning Fallout. It actually turns out to be a lot of work if they talk a lot, like that first video of Fallout. I have to find a suitable voice sound, copy their chat from the game by typing it into 11 Labs, and then hope it sounds good when it comes out. But I think it sounds better in the final product. I just have to look into trying to find out how to make the bad guys sound bad. Yeah, when I fought those raiders in the Fallout, the episode 2, there's no evil sounding voice, like, I'm gonna kill you! Things like that. It's like, I'm going to kill you. That's what it ends up sounding like, right? So I'm not sure. I'm just fooling around with 11 Labs. I've literally only done it for 2 videos. I've listened to other people use it for mods and things like that for, say, Skyrim. So I have, and you know, that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to use it for, say, playing a female character who is completely voiced by 11 Labs, because of the lack of range of emotions. There's no laughing. I don't think there's any crying. It can sound human-like, but at times it sounds a little robotic. I mean, I'm picking it up too. So I want something that's going to sound... Now I'm looking to try to make the bad guy sound bad, right? There is Milton. We need to kill him. That doesn't sound bad. And that's kind of what I'm getting out of the videos, the AI voice work so far. So I need something more like, there's Milton. We need to kill him, right? You need to sound more menacing, more evil. I'm still looking into it, and maybe I'll never be able to find an answer to that. I hope that's not the case, but... I mean, I looked into it on the FAQ. Or did I ask a question? No, on the FAQ, I think, for 11 Labs. They're still working on emotional voices. I'm not sure how to do that. Yeah. Just starting out. Using my basic knowledge, I have not done any in-depth research into it. I mean, I know Playground, the picture generator, that also has a lot of features that I just read parts of it. I haven't really learned how to do them. Like, apparently you can take the same image and get that same person with the image doing different things instead of, because when you generate a picture, it can be randomized and not look the same. So you want to, if you want that same person doing other things, right? Apparently there's a way to do it. I'm still looking into that. So I have a long way to go, but AI is just in its infancy. But I really believe it's the future of video games, and I don't mean, oh, just let the AI create it and we'll have a video game. That's not what I mean. I think the greatest strength in AI for video games will be in managing the world that you created, such as going into a tavern. Every person, like, you would write out that person's backstory, but the AI would fill in the details and act the part and keep that consistent for that character. So you would go into a tavern and there could be 50 people in there. Each person can have their complete own backstory, likes, dislikes, voice, how they look. Well, that could be up to the artist or whatever. However far you want, as the game developer, you want the AI to go. But I wouldn't want that. Maybe it to assist, put a range of pictures and the AI can assist in making them look good. AI, like I said, is still in its infancy, but I really believe it will help in bringing that world to life. You don't need to hire 200 voice actors for video games, but for the main actors, possibly, yes. But for all the NPC background characters, why not have AI flesh it out? Why not make it feel like a living, breathing world? That what you enter, it's not just you go talk to somebody and they have one-line responses. You know, that's your... Everybody knows that. That's how NPCs are. How about go up to any NPCs? That NPC has their own life, right? You can get lost in it. It'll be like the holodeck in Star Trek. You'll get lost in it with the world that's created. That's the kind of future that we're entering. And the fact that they're also using holograms now in sports stadiums to make like whales or whatever, dolphins fly above you that look realistic. So we will have holodecks in the future, I do believe, but AI will really help in that area. And as much as work as it is to put in AI voices for... I'm only going to do this in a limited number of games. With mostly the older games that need it. Obviously, I'm not going to do it to a new game. Why would I try to fool around with that? But it can, in my opinion, it can just help make it feel more realistic. Instead of me trying to act out that voice. I mean, I can, and I've done it. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Neverwinter Nights. To mixed results. I think there was like a ghoul I came across, and the ghoul is voiced for about 5 seconds. You get a feeling of what that voice sounds like, but there's a whole bunch of lines after that. So I was trying to match it with my voice. I can't even remember, but as I was cringing as I was making it. It was that bad. I don't want to go through that anymore. On top of creating... I don't know if it can create... I guess it can create original voices. I can also upload my voice. It can copy my voice and start using that on 11 Labs. Anybody can do that. And you can make it available to anybody in the world to be able to use that as well. But copying voices, and people are doing this a lot. The legality of this it's nebulous for me. I don't think there's even laws written for it. But people are doing it. Modding especially. I don't mind doing that too. I have not seen... I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I've tried to copy... what's his face? The narrator for Fallout 1, 2, and 3. He was also in 4, but not the game's narrator. I forget the actor's name. He was in Sons of Anarchy as the older guy that was the leader of the group. He died in that movie. Or that show, I should say. But anyways, yeah, him... I forget his name. He's got a real deep voice. The guy from Quest for Fire from the early 80s. Yeah, he's a funny looking guy. But yeah, he at times it sounded like him, but I think it has it pegged at about 75%. So there's 25% difference in his voice. It sounds similar to him. There is, if I go up to the next tier of paying for 11 Labs, then it says I'll have a perfect voice clone that it can do for people. I didn't try using that, so I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is actually I don't think is illegal. I don't think there's a single law written about it. Copying voices, I mean, I don't think there's anything about that. People are starting to do that everywhere now. It's popping out everywhere. So watch out for deep fakes in the future, though, because that could be an issue. So yeah, it's great to have Skyrim back up and working. I really missed that. So it was out for, what, 3 months? I got it working in March. January, February, March. Yeah, so 3 months it was out. Maybe 3 months and a week or so. And unfortunately, that was a little depressing. And that's my most watched Let's Roleplay on my channel right now. So yeah, the last channel video I made, I was tempted to get it working again, but now it's up and working. I just love playing that game. I really do. I love also voicing Torald Jensen. Talk like Torald. Skyrim is my most favorite game still, and is still my favorite game of all time. Though I would have to say that without my companion mods, that I think Baldur's Gate 3 might beat it out for top spot. So yes, that's true. Baldur's Gate 3 and the first two games were really focused on, you know, story, along with your companions being in the middle of it, especially with Baldur's Gate 3, even more so than the first two games. It's more like Dragon Age Origins in a lot of ways. It's BioWare. That's classic BioWare work. And I really think Larian Studios has done a good job. I'm what, 2/3 through the game? I don't even I think about halfway. Apparently the last act, which I just entered in my last video, is one of the longest in the game. So like 40 hours or something like that. I think Act 2 is supposed to be 20 hours. Act 3, 30, 40 hours. Act 3 is like 40, 50 hours, I believe. That's what I'm told. So I'm maybe around halfway through the game. I also like to do all the little side quests in there, so it does take longer for a lot of the things I do with my videos. So I do like Fallout 4 as well, and this is a bit of a story. But okay, so yeah, let's get back to Skyrim. One of the big reasons that I really do that I like it so much, and that Baldur's Gate 3 hasn't beaten it, is because the companion mods that I've added to it. I think Serana is just completely, for me anyways, yes, she's really pretty in the game. She's got a beautiful voice too. She's just added a lot. I like Lucian and Inigo. I haven't put them up yet on my channel, but the last video I did was all about Inigo with a quest that just popped out right when I'm making it. I had no forewarning. There was even an Inigo quest in there, and yeah, we focused pretty much just on Inigo for most of the video. So the companions that I've added, the mods, have added a lot of life into Skyrim for me, because I like story, I like companions, I like, you know, the drama that goes on, the interactivity, the romance. So if those mods weren't in there, Skyrim would feel a lot more stale, especially compared to Baldur's Gate 3, which story and characters and romance and all those kind of things, that's the main focus of the game. So, to Fallout 4, this is a bit of an issue that video games have had forever. And Fallout 4 was my second favorite game. I think I might put it down to third place now. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is now my second favorite, even though I haven't finished it yet. I really like Fallout 4, but this is an issue, as I said, for many games, is the power balance got stale halfway through it. It needed the Mass Effect treatment, and I'll explain why. So, when you max out everything, best weapons, I mean, I didn't even have the best skills, even to the very end. I think I got to level 100 in Fallout, which to me is also, you know, I haven't even achieved that before. So you saw it record at least 99. I thought I hit 100. That's really high. I haven't gotten there before. So I hadn't also finished the 2 DLCs that came with Fallout, the 2 main story DLCs, Fallout 4. It's just that went with power armor, even without power armor, the armor that I'm wearing, the clothing, regular clothing that I've, you know, upgraded with, you know, really good armor, and my weapons, it just became too easy. And I'm guessing if you watch it straight through, you'll notice that you just have to stand still and blow everything away in 2 seconds, you know. It's not a challenge anymore. It's just isn't fun. The fun factor goes away. You want to be, there's got to be a threat, right? You can't just blow everything away. There were times, a few times in the last half of Fallout 4, yes, especially when I went up against the Gunners headquarters, when there was characters, they threw at me about 100 of them, I'm not joking, that were twice my level in some cases. It was ridiculous. I probably died about a dozen times making that video trying to kill all those guys. But that's not what I want either. You don't want it to be the opposite, where it's just insane. You want a decent amount of challenge where it feels fulfilling, but you know if you screw up, you're gonna pay for it. Your character can die. That's what it needs. And Fallout 4 just, once I got the best equipment, best upgrades for everything, best armor, good, really good companions, it just wasn't a challenge anymore. And the game grew a little stale for me. If it had that challenge all the way to the end, yes, I would have appreciated the game a lot more. And this is a reason why, and even in Skyrim, I don't want to upgrade all my combat abilities. Just max them out, focus on that, and then everything's really easy from then on. I have not done that in the middle of all my combat abilities, and I actually had to adjust the difficulty down. It's the starting level, Adept, I think that's what it was. And I wanted it on hard, but I was dying way too much, and that's not fun for me either. I want a challenge, and I still do die on Adept. I have to watch it, especially if I'm getting blasted with magic. Some of the tougher NPCs are on me. I have to watch. I have to block. I have to heal myself. I have to, block with my 2 swords, which is cool. I always think that looks really neat in the game how it happens. That's all modded, by the way. I don't think you couldn't block before with 2 dual wielding. So I block, and I use that quick attack to bring them down. It can be very challenging. I have to watch what I'm doing, and I love that mechanic, game mechanics where you have to get involved, you have to watch out, otherwise if you screw up, if something unforeseen comes, you could die. I like that. That's what I want. I don't just want to walk into a combat situation where I aim at them in VATS and they're dead in a second, or 2 hits, or 1 hit right in the head, their head explodes. It gets really stale and boring. It's not a challenge anymore. You don't have to even take cover in Fallout 4. And that's why I think it needed the Mass Effect treatment. And what I mean by that is you had the same issue in the first Mass Effect game. Challenging at first, and then if you're in heavy armor and say you have an assault rifle, everything's upgraded, your skills are all the best, it starts to lack challenge in the latter half of the game, especially in the ending. You're just blowing, it's basically just like Fallout 4 in your combat armor, you're walking around blowing everything away really quickly. What they did with Mass Effect 2, now this is what all video games should be looking at. They kept it challenging from start to end. Same thing with Mass Effect 3. And the reason they did that is now you're required to take cover. If you get hit, you're going to take a lot of damage, no matter what armor you're wearing, no matter your skills. You are not invincible. You can't just stand there and be a rock that everything just gets, shot off, or ricocheted off you, or barely doing any damage to you, is what I mean to say. You need to actually interact and be active in the game. So you take cover, and you wait for your moment to, rise up and shoot and take out the enemies. You can still get hit. And when you get hit, you have a limited ability to heal yourself, so you really have to watch it. They just up the challenge a lot, from start to finish, no matter what level you are. And that's what Fallout 4 needed. And I can say the same thing happened to Morrowind as well. With the base game, not modded. Mine was a little more challenging because I added mods to make it tougher. But I do remember that the game got very stale in the latter half, because you hit past level 20, everything dies too quickly. There's nothing that's even a challenge in the game. Even the end bad guy. There's no challenge. There's nothing. It was terrible. So I added mods to make it more interesting and more difficult, and it wasn't that stale for me to the end. But Fallout 4, yeah, it just got boring. I really think with shooters, you need to take cover. You're not a walking tank that's bulletproof, right? You shouldn't ever have a game like that. There needs to be a serious threat that you have to watch out for, and you have to play just right. And if you don't, you're going to suffer. And that's the way it should be. So that really marred my feelings towards Fallout 4. As much as I don't think this is a complaint that people really ever talk about when they bring up Fallout 4. But who loves Fallout 4, I love the story. That's one of the greatest things about the game, is No, not building the settlements. A little bit. I liked it up to an extent. I don't like going around to all the settlements. I like building up your own settlement, your own main settlement in Sanctuary. And I really liked upgrading my guns and my weapons and getting more powerful, and that having a threat out there that you need to keep upgrading your weapons. You need to focus on that in order to deal with the threats that you're facing. I love that part, but once you've upgraded everything and then the threats really aren't threats anymore, it just feels lackluster. It detracted from the game for me. Okay, so let's go on to the Q&A. Now, this first person, I don't think I need to zoom in where they left these questions. I think we're kind of adults now. We're beyond that. So Q&A. Mad Honey wrote this. Now, he wrote this back in January, I think, right after, like a day or two after or something, or maybe a week after I made my last Q&A. So I saved it. So from Mad Honey, he wrote, would you ever consider doing a Fable playthrough? Little less RPG, little more action RPG as the franchise goes on, but just your thoughts. I don't think you have companions in Fable games. It's still possible. I have companions in Fallout, but they're not really much to them. So I'm not going to... I can look up the background of these companions, but I think it's already been everything about, say, Ian in Fallout. It's already been talked about. There's nothing more. So I'm left with two things. Either I don't talk about Ian very much, or I create my own backstory for Ian. I'm more inclined to start creating my own things up. I wouldn't do that in anything like, say, Baldur's Gate 3, where the characters are quite fleshed out. Of course I wouldn't do that. But if they're really one-dimensional characters, really, and they're going to be with me for a long time, I can create stuff. I can even have him talking. I can have his voice. I can get Ian to say whatever I want. So as for Fable, I could do that. Yeah, I could. Would I ever consider doing it? I consider it, but it would be years from now. There's several... I want to do Mass Effect series, and I also want to do the Witcher series before I do anything else. So after Baldur's Gate 3, I'm going to go back to Neverwinter Nights and carry that on as kind of like the D&D slot. And then do Neverwinter Nights 2. And I don't know... After that, I guess it's open. I'm not sure where I will go with that one. But after the Fallout series, I think that will be the first one. Oh, no way, because Fallout 3 in New Vegas, so that's going to take a while. I couldn't tell you. Maybe, so after Skyrim, I plan to do Starfield. And hopefully they'll have some decent DLC, which will expand what was lacking in the game. Because I don't dislike Starfield, I do like it. I like it a lot. I like some of the stories, I like the characters. I just think that mechanically the game was missing about half of what, not even half there. There really wasn't much of an addition. There's your spaceship, and you're adding to your spaceship all the different parts, and flying from world to world, and that's about it, really. Not much. You have worlds with, you go out and explore everything. Anyways, I'm digressing. I'm seriously digressing here. So a little less RPG, a little more action RPG franchise going on. I can do that. We'll see. I would consider it, yes. I have played Fable, the first one. I think I finished it like 3 times. I bought the more modern version of it, because I bought the original back in 2004. I was really excited for it back then. And then I bought, about 6 years ago, I bought the updated version of it, and I finished that as well. I played through Fable 2 a couple times. I didn't get to the end. I don't know why. I just think I always get bored with it. Not that it's a boring game, okay? No, I'm not. Fable 2 was awesome. I don't know why I got bored with it. Maybe other things in my life came up at the time, I'm not sure. And I have Fable 3, I just haven't even touched it. So I do believe that they are rebooting the series. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so Flameborn wrote, Happy Easter, and question not trying to hate, but why in Skyrim when Alduin attacked, it felt like your character wasn't as surprised or startled by the fact of a dragon. Why is that? Well, I looked over the video, so let's present it again and see, did I underreact or not? Alright, I think this should work. So here I am. That video, we can watch the entire thing. Not the entire video, but the entire scene. So I'm about to have my head chopped off. There's the dragon. Oh.
It's a dragon! God help us! It's the end times!
What's the dragon doing here?
God!
Divines help us!
Don't just stand there!
Surely this must be the end times.
This way!
The headsman is dead at least. Inside.
You're alive. Back
So yes, I probably could have given a little bit more emotion. I'm not sure. I mean, I've also noticed as I'm getting used to the voices, my voice kind of changes. Like Thorol does not talk like that anymore. That is more dragon, exaggerated dragon, like talking like that. He doesn't dragon. That's what he would say. I'm not sure. Like I could have added more emotion to it. I don't think it's that bad. I think the biggest shock of somebody going through that may have been numbness. Not shock. I mean, they may have felt numb. I was expecting their head to be cut off in a second. And you were just looking basically at the end of your life. So something crazy that comes in like that at the moment, I don't know what else. What a person would really go through, but I would think that afterwards they look back at it as relief. But you're already looking at the end of your life. I can't really think there'd be more shock than that, and then a dragon comes in. I'm not trying to exclude it. Not exclude. I'm not trying to say my acting at that moment was the best. It's sort of in the middle. It's nothing that great. It could have been better. I mean, I could have started shouting a dragon, but try to think of being in that position. This is what I do. I mean, that was a new Let's Roleplay, so I might not have been into as much as, say, later on into it. But I think another person asked this in the questions. I think like my characters. This is why this is how I do it for me. So as a dragon comes in and you're about to die, I'm not sure what else. I'm not sure exactly how surprised you would be. I think you may just stand up like, oh my gosh, in disbelief, and then just run. Maybe shout out, a dragon, right? But freaking out over it at the time, I'm not sure if that is really realistic either. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. If you guys think it wasn't very good performance on my part, let me know in the comments section. If you do think it was alright, then let me know too. Alright, so what's next? Oops. I was not supposed to do that. Wrong thing. Alright, so that was Flameborn. And then we have next is Caterade. Caterade says, Happy Easter, and I'm glad you're recovering. When role-playing in a game you have, for lack of a better word, played multiple times, I use my own replays of Fallout 3, New Vegas, Oblivion, and Skyrim as examples. Replays. Do you make videos? How are you able to get into a new character or stay in character when you know what's around the corner? I want to start... He put LPing, so I mean, that would be LARPing, I assume. LARPing character, and I always struggle with this issue. It doesn't matter. It's still a form of role-playing, no matter what it is. So you're asking me how I do it if I know something is coming around the corner. I plan ahead for how... If I know, because in Baldur's Gate 3, it's a blind playthrough. I don't know what's coming. It's all new to me. Fallout 4 for the DLC, that was all new to me. Skyrim, I may have reached the point where everything is new. Pretty much, just some side quests that I've done before. And I've done the companions completely like 3 times before. Mage's Guild, no. I think I did just the Sartho quest. Thieves Guild, I'm way ahead in Thieves Guild than I've ever been. I didn't even know about Mercer Frey trying to kill you. He's the head of the Thieves Guild. And what is the... Oh, the Dark Brotherhood I've never even touched before. So I think other than the companions and a few quests around the area, I have done some of the Civil War. I think we took Dawnstar. But that really I've never been to Solstheim before either. I'm kind of... And I've never even touched the Dawnguard part at all, really. I think I went and signed up for it before, and that was it. I'm ahead of where I am. So much of Skyrim, to me, from here on is blind, too. I would say probably about 95%, you know, outside the companions mods. Or the companion storyline. It's new. It's all new to me. So, for things that I do know that's coming, like, obviously I knew what was happening. Sometimes I think it can help, because you can... Like Fallout 4, where your family is destroyed right before you at the beginning of the game. But I didn't know how it would affect me. So that's the thing. I may know what's coming, but if I'm in that character's head, it kind of did affect me a lot for Fallout 4. And I think the first 20 videos were pretty dark, because I was in that place... Hey, like, I don't know how many of you are out there, but when it comes to like, losing children, I'm not even death, but his son was kidnapped. But in the case of children and family being harmed, it does touch me in real life. I'm watching, say, a documentary on stuff like that. It does affect me. But for me to play a character in that position, that wasn't make-believe when my voice broke. And I knew that was all coming. That I can actually... That's a bit of a sensitive area for me. It should be for every human being if you have a soul. If your family's destroyed, I mean, that's pretty harsh. That's your whole world just gone. That's why you're there. That's why you're working. That's what your future is you're looking for. It's everything about you. It revolves around your family. So for that to be completely destroyed, and I've had people say, you know, let's lighten it up a bit for my videos, but I couldn't. I was literally there. There's a video, some jackass said it was the L video for loser video, but I had like 20 replies saying it's a great video. The one where he like my voice literally breaks because I am sad. I can act to that point where I can put my head into that character, that point where I can feel the emotion at that moment. Losing your son and having your wife killed like that affected me when I was trying to act out those parts. Well, maybe that makes me a really good actor. I don't know. No, I've never been in anything acting other than what you see on my channel. That's the most acting I've done in my life. But even though I knew it was coming, when I'm there in my character's head, it was pretty harsh. And I think in real life it would be a lot more devastating. I mean, I don't know. I've heard of horrific things happening. There was a car accident, I think it was in the UK, where this woman... She was in the passenger seat. She was pregnant with her second child. They got in a car accident, a real bad one, where the husband was killed. They had already like a young child in the back seat who was also killed. She survived, but she lost the baby. And, you know, my wife's reaction hearing that is like, oh, I'd probably just end my own life, right? So I don't know. Obviously I've never been in a situation in my life that harsh, but I do know that if I'm to put my head in a person's place, even if I know it's coming like that, it's pretty powerful. I don't think there's many RPGs that do things like that, and I wasn't actually expecting that level of darkness until I started playing it, because then I'm there. I'm in that character's head, and I'm experiencing everything as that character. Obviously, I know it's a video game. I can step out anytime. I'm not all of a sudden that character in Fallout 4. But yeah, my voice did crack up. When you hear a crack up, it's acting, but it's real emotion coming out, right? Because I put my character in that place where, you know, where I executed my son with the with the reactor that went off, basically another nuclear explosion. That, my voice crack was real. That was a real emotion that came out. I can do that, right? Because I love my children. I think children are a blessing on this, for all of human beings, all humanity. And I didn't even know that about myself until I had my own. I want lots of kids, but unfortunately we can't. And it's not even money. My wife's health just couldn't deal with it. She had a lot of issues with the two that we had. The second one was a real risk, so we couldn't have any more. Plus her age, she's too old now for that. She's 52. She's 4 years older than me. But, yeah. So how do I able to get into the character, stay in the character when I know it's around the corner? I can do it. I don't know if it's a Ryan thing. Not Ryan Moore. This Ryan. I don't know. I can do it. I can't explain how I can do it. But I put all I know is I just kind of like Avatar, the movie's Avatar, where they're in, not exactly because they don't really have any sensory for their real body in the machine, but it is something kind of like that, maybe something halfway between that, where I can project my whole self into that character and then just play as that character. That's what I do. So in some cases, like I will plan around it, like how am I going to behave around this? With this when this happens, what am I going to say? Maybe there will be a phrase that I'll say. I can plan it like that, but no matter what I plan, it's, you know, it won't be the same once you get there. Of course, I will try to enact the plan that I have for it, but will it come off the same? Because then I have all these other feelings and as that character, so I can incorporate it, but I will also add a lot to it, depending on the situation. And that's the thing about me doing this. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm not fully there until I do it at the time. Like, I can plan, but until I'm actually there, I don't know. And a lot of things have just happened that way, where it goes off in a different direction that I never expected. It's really weird. It's weird. I admit it's weird, but it's also kind of, in a way, magical, I think. There's a lot of things in, especially Fallout 4, where it did get emotional in the first half of the whole playthrough. I didn't know how exactly things would go. I can plan ahead, but until I get there, I also have to think on my feet. What is the most logical thing for you to do? If you have several different ways to go for your character, meaning what direction, what are you going to focus on doing now, what quest, what's the most important? I won't know exactly until I'm there. I can plan what I'm going to do for certain quests, but when it comes to, okay, so you've just killed somebody, you've that was really bad. What's your priority as your character now? I won't really know until at that moment, right? Until I get there, because I don't know how the character is going to think, and it's really weird, but that's just how I do it. That's how I can explain it. So, I don't know, LPing, like, did you mean RPing, or are you LARPing? I've never LARPed before. I've watched people LARP. It was pretty humorous at times, but of course they're probably recording the funny parts. There's that video where, what were they throwing, like, golf balls or something? Or tennis balls? Lightning bolt. I think a lot of people have seen that. That was really corny and dorky. Not exactly. I mean, LARPing, yeah. Well, I think we grouped for our pen and paper game. This is 12 years ago. There was like the head of some LARPing group that was actually with us. Pretty charismatic guy. But, yeah, he'd be like the king of the nerds, I guess, in a way. We were kind of laughing at that a bit. He felt like he was really top of the game, the way he was talking about it all, but in all honesty, most people, especially 10, 12, 15 years ago, see it as a very nerdy thing to do. But, you know, it really isn't. It's just acting. You're role-playing. You're playing a character. You use your imagination for a lot of things, and that's what I do to stay in character. Of course, I realize I've got another monitor here, I've got a desk here, I'm a human being sitting here. I know I'm not that character, but I can pretend that I am, if that helps. Just like LARPing. So Mary Beth Reimer says, hugs to you and your family. Well, hugs to you and your family back. So I saw your picture. You have, I think, 5 of your grandchildren. It's really adorable. I wish I could have 5 of my own, but... Well, I guess I met my wife late. She was 33 when we met, and we had our first when she was 38, and so then she was 42 when we had our second. Yeah, we didn't realize her health. We actually could have lost her. She was really, really ill with that first pregnancy. It was really bad. It was an emergency C-section. There was no fluids left, and we had to rush. Her blood pressure was like 260 or something insane. They had to put her in a wheelchair. It was very risky. She could have died. They really watched her. They had her in the hospital for 20 days before our second one. They're monitoring her health. 20 days. That was terrible. But anyways, that's our struggle to have our first, well, my first two. Like, if I could live, if I could live for a long time, I'd love to have more children. I just love children. I really do. Adopting really isn't much of an option because we're very poor, so it's a struggle as it is right now, especially with the economy the way things are lately. Inflation's through the roof. So, Joe Gaskins, you're the next one. Happy Easter, mate. I'd like to know if you ever plan on role-playing Hogwarts Legacy. Could be a refreshing direction for the channel. Also, have you read any Warhammer 40k books? I just finished reading the Eisenhorn trilogy by Dan Abnett. It was phenomenal. I take it that that's part of the Warhammer books, Eisenhorn trilogy. No, I have never read anything Warhammer. There's Warhammer 40k, and then there's Warhammer. What's the fantasy one? I forget, but I used to play the fantasy online one. Was it? I forget what it's called. Warhammer something. Warhammer Online. Yeah, I did play that. We're talking about 2008 to 2011, I think. Off and on, I played it. As for reading the books, well, I was in a really harsh role-playing guild, and they talked about the fantasy books, but I haven't read them. They did sound pretty interesting. My friend in real life, outside of the games, he was really into the 40k books. He told me a bit about it. And we went to the library once, and he went and bought, or looked at them. I don't think they had what he was looking for in at the time. But I don't really know much about 40k or Warhammer. It's not that I don't think it's good. It is good. I guess I just haven't devoted much of any time. It really hasn't crossed my sights as being something fantastic. There's a 40k game that I do play. It came out like 10, 12 years ago, maybe 2010, 2011 game. I have it. I played through the main story. It was a lot of fun. Where you use a squad and you go around and you shoot guys. Yeah. And I don't really know much more about 40k than that. So Hogwarts Legacy, because somebody on my channel also mentioned, I forget your name, sorry, I know you post a lot. I guess I could look him up. What is your name? Oh no. Oh, YouTube. Why YouTube? They are throwing this at me. Seems like every week. Okay, so proceed. They want me to verify it's me. And I know there's a lot of people that are doing bad things, taking over people's accounts. But I have to use my phone. What it's doing is asking if it's me. I put in my password and then it sends something to my phone. And I have to choose the right number. Yes, it's me. There was one time when my phone was upstairs in my room. It was really late at night. And it did this to me. I just was like, oh, whatever. I think I was sick. I was sick. This is probably like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, I don't have the energy to do this. So I just had to leave YouTube. Anyways, I put it through. It accepted it. All right. You're one of the DMC fan. 1214. So that's not his actual. It is DMC fan 1214. You are one of the most prolific commenters on my channel. And I forgot what he asked. I talk a lot and I digress a lot. Hogwarts Legacy, that's what it was. Okay, so he had mentioned that game to me as well. And I think I replied with something, yeah, I'm looking at it for my son. He just turned 13, but he said DMC fan 1214 said I think he said it's rated R or something like that, or the rating is higher than for what a 13-year-old would do, or it should be. I don't want my son. He just finished Breath of the Wild, actually, and on his own. I think he did have to cheat to get there. Keep in mind, my son is also autistic, so I haven't played Breath of the Wild. I didn't help him, but I was giving him advice to, look it up if you're stuck. He had a lot of trouble with the weapons breaking thing. I think I've heard of that before from other people saying that makes the game harder. But it took him a while. Off and on, he played it for a few months, and then I think just like a day or two ago, he finally beat the main bad guy and finished the story. Kind of proud of him. So maybe we'll get there's Zelda, I'm not sure what it's called, there's Breath of the Wild 2, which they just released a short while ago, so we'll get that for him. But as for Hogwarts Legacy, I don't know. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of games that I plan to play. I do like Bethesda games. I think they've got it in them to make really great games. If not, just make them audible. We'll make it great for you, Bethesda. Which is kind of sad, but Larian games, I'd be more inclined to go after the Larian games. So I paid for them. I have not played them. I bought them. I mean to say. Where are we? While I was sick, I was actually playing Dragon's Dogma. I bought that when it was on sale. The first game, Dark Arisen. And it's a lot of fun. It's hokey. The storyline and role-playing elements are a little corny, but I enjoy the game. I enjoy the combat. It's a different type of feeling. It's, you know... so what was I talking about? Okay, so a Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2, I have them, and I can even show you them. See, Divinity Original Sin. I've not installed it, and then the second one. So I have it, have not played it. I guess I bought this game Dark and Light. I have not played it either. The review was mixed. So, yeah, I've got a lot of games. I've got so many games I have not played. So, Wasteland, the original one. I think that you were asking about that, DMC fan. Was that you asking about it? I think he did. Yeah, he asked about it recently. Where is it? Right. Have you played the Wasteland series? Just curious. I have the original. I have Wasteland 2. I think I may have started a character and then just saw the intro, and then that was it for Wasteland 2. But I did play Wasteland, the original. It's not really my thing. Mechanically. If it had more story, then yeah, I'd probably be into it. It's very much like the old Bard's Tale games from the 80s. It's just not my... I don't find it that fun. But Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3 I've heard good things about. I haven't bought Wasteland 3. I do have the original Witcher Enhanced Edition. And 2... See, this is the game that really got me into it. Oh my gosh, The Witcher 2 is ridiculously difficult. It took a long time for me to get used to that. And then I did. And then The Witcher 3 plays the same, but they added not a dodge, but a step aside. So every time somebody comes at you, you step aside, then slash. It made it a lot easier. But this game, and then the limited, because you have to prepare with your alchemy before combat starts. So, yeah. How does it work? I forget. I haven't played this in a few years. Anyways, I just finished. I finished everything. I didn't finish the what is it? Blood and Wine or something. That I played a little bit of it, but yeah, I finished everything up to that point. But these two are great games and lots of role playing. Of course, you have to be Geralt. And if I did play as Geralt, I probably would have an AI voice to match his, I would think. That would be really seamless. People have done that with mods before. Alright, I think that's it. So if you would like to help out and support Let's Roleplay, you can donate in each video as a super thanks. I would very much appreciate it. I know times are tough for everyone, including in this house. Or you can become a member of my channel, which also comes with perks. Just click on the join video and watch what I put together, and you'll see what you as a member would get. YouTube gives me 70% of any money put towards my channel. However, with perks, you do get the YouTube membership. Everyone who donates to me via Super Thanks also gets their names posted as supporters at the end of my videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see your comments in my videos. The more comments, the better. The more upvotes, even downvotes, it's more interaction with my channel. It all helps. I would prefer upvotes, though. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again.